Good morning. Today we are going to be starting our videos for our final faith formation class of this school year, which will be our March class. And today we are going to be talking about the Rosary. So the Rosary is a very special prayer within the Catholic Church. Not only does it focus a lot of its attention on Mary, the mother of Jesus, who is somebody that as Catholics we do not worship, but we do revere her as somebody who is very special, who was chosen by God for the most important task of bringing Jesus here bodily to earth. And the goodness of her life, which she evidenced in order to earn that. So a lot of the Rosary has to do with prayers that focus on Mary. However, we also find prayers that focus on God. We have the Our Father involved. We have the Glory Be. We have prayers like the Fatima prayer or Oh My Jesus prayer, which are focused on Christ. We have the Apostles' Creed, which focuses on all of the beliefs of the Catholic Church, the basic beliefs. So we really have a total look at all of the important pieces of the Catholic faith as we pray the Rosary. What is also special is that along with the prayers in the Rosary, we also have what we call mysteries, which are events in the lives of Jesus and Mary, which we meditate or focus on while we are praying the Rosary. So the Rosary serves a couple of different purposes. First of all, it helps us to remember the important events in the lives of Jesus and Mary and the power of God that we can see in those events. It helps us to think about the mysteries of our faith, the things that we believe in, but that we may not be able to fully understand. It helps us to think about the miracles that show God's power and the immense blessing that Mary was given when she was honored to be the mother of Jesus. And it also helps us to remember the sacrifice that was made by God, by Mary, by Christ. The Rosary is also a very special, specific set of prayers that are really wonderful for offering up an intention or a prayer for a specific purpose. That can be something for yourself, or it can be something for another person, a group of people, or the world. So you can pray a rosary and kind of offer that rosary prayer up for healing of yourself or somebody else. You can offer it up for a natural disaster like a tornado or a hurricane, for that you can offer that prayer for the victims of that event. You can offer it up for a friend or a family member who is struggling with something in particular. It's also really wonderful prayer for when we are having a hard time making a decision or coming to a conclusion about something, where we're having a hard time deciding what we need to do or how we need to think about a particular thing. So really meditating on, focusing on, thinking about that choice that we have to make or that issue that we're not quite sure on while we're praying the Rosary can help bring some clarity. It can help us understand what the choice we need to make is. It's also an especially popular prayer during the season of Lent, which by the time we have this class, we will have started. The Rosary is very special because it focuses on all of the mysteries and events in Jesus and Mary's lives, a lot of which focus on the events leading up to Easter and the crucifixion and the events that happened immediately after. So it's a really wonderful prayer to help remind us of the reason that we celebrate Easter and the Easter season. Because the Rosary and the mysteries that we think about, those moments in the lives of Jesus and Mary, it really emphasizes, it focuses on the gift of God's love for us, Christ's sacrifice that we thank him for, that was given to us out of love, that we could not have deserved ourselves. We are not perfect. We all make mistakes. We all sin. And because of that, we can never be perfect enough to earn God's love. We can't get God's love because of things that we do. God just loves us as we are, even though we are not perfect. And he gave us the gift of Christ, even though we are not perfect. So the Rosary is a really wonderful way to give thanks to God for that gift, and to give thanks to him for his love, and to give thanks to Christ for his sacrifice. So it's very important to remember when you are preparing to pray the Rosary that it does take about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how quickly you pray and depending on how fully you pray the Rosary. If you pray every single prayer that is associated with every single bead, and you really explain each mystery, it will take longer. Whereas if you pray more quickly and you just name the mystery or the event instead of describing it, or you skip out on some of the prayers, which we'll talk a little bit more about and make a little more sense in the next video, it can be a little bit shorter. But you'll want to make sure when you pray the Rosary that you give yourself enough time to really sit down and have that full time for prayer to complete the entire Rosary. It's also very important to be in the right frame of mind, to know that this is a lengthy prayer, this is an important prayer, it is a powerful prayer, and to make sure that you're really able to focus on it while you are praying it. The last thing that I will say about that, which we're going to touch a little bit more on in the next few videos, is that the Rosary is very specific. There's specific prayers for each specific part of the Rosary. However, our main goal through Faith Formation with the topic of prayer for this school year is to have you pray more, to increase your prayer life, to have you be talking with God more often. So I don't ever want anyone to avoid praying the Rosary or to not pray the Rosary because they feel like they can't do every single piece of it. Or if you forget a certain prayer at a certain point in time. So overall, the main purpose of the Rosary for our class is to introduce you to it and to introduce you to the proper way to pray it. However, as long as you are praying, that's a good thing. So I don't ever want you to not pray the Rosary because you might miss a part of it or do a prayer out of order or something. Like, that's fine. We just want you to be thinking about different ways that you can pray more often at home.